Lewis. He was selected by the Los Angeles Lakers, and JJ, I know you're a big fan of his game.
Yeah, he's got a lot of game. He scores at all three levels. There's question marks from Jay Billis about his efficiency.
Second round champ, no Lakers 24, step back.
He is long and athletic. He's an upside pick. He makes plays and he crashes the glass.
He's on his way to
MAXWEL
the Los
Lewis.
Angeles Lakers. Let's head back to the podium and Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum.
With the 41st pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the Charlotte Hornets select Amari Bailey from UCLA.
Amari Bailey, the freshman guard, is in the crowd here. He joined Zach LaVine and Lonzo Ball as the only freshman guards drafted out of UCLA over the last 10 drafts. He was teammates with both Zaire Wade and Bronny James at Sierra Canyon, and now he makes that walk. Ooh, with some nice pearls going on there, the jewelry, the accessories, into his NBA career.
I watched Amari Bailey and talked to him at the Combine, and I thought what was the most impressive about his Combine performance is he showed he could play on or off the ball. And we're going to watch highlights about how he can score on the wing, and he's a crafty scorer. But at the Combine, he showed he can facilitate and run an offense. He handled full court pressure. He set up his teammates, 17 points, 8 assists in one of the games, 19 points, 6 assists in another of the games. He really added a level to what we've seen from him all college season. He added to that at the Combine.
Well, he's a versatile offensive player. He can go off the dribble. He's got a very good middle game.
Got to see him.
The lefty is a good driver. And to your point, Andrea, at the Combine, he had 36 points, 14 assists in 40 minutes, and shot 58% in those 2 games. And it's just 40 minutes that he put those numbers up. And I thought he took a big jump when Jalen Clark was lost to injury to the Bruins late in the season. He really sort of stepped up his productivity and stepped into that void and showed what he's capable of. He's a good player that's got a high upside.
Yeah, and to that point, I mean, he averaged just over 17 points per game during the conference and NCAA tournaments. That's stepping up from averaging 9.6 during the regular season, so he has stepped up. I think Richard Jefferson would be proud of his lack of shirt choice as well.
I'm fine with him doing it because he's 19. I always have a problem with RJ when he goes with like 3 buttons unbuttoned.
Oh, when it's just 3, I'm good with it. It's when it gets to like 4, 5, that's when it gets a little bit disturbing. And now we have Washington on the clock, and we talked about Washington a little bit earlier, JJ. A lot of movement, clearly going into a full rebuild under Mike Winger here. What do you see there?
It's interesting. I think this is the first time in the modern NBA that I've watched a full rebuild happen, where you trade away 3 players: Bradley Beal, Kristaps Porzingis, and Chris Paul, and you get back 1 first-round pick, which is protected in 2030. That's not typically what we see. Now, the circumstances of all of these: Bradley Beal has a no-trade clause. He can kind of dictate where he went. Kristaps Porzingis had an opt-in to his player option that came down to midnight. And then with Chris Paul, he's not at the stage in his career where he's going to necessarily warrant a first-round pick. They end up getting one in 2030 in the future that's protected. But it's just a very odd situation to rebuild without getting a bunch of draft capital in return for players of that caliber.
They did go get Jordan Poole in all of this. What do you make of that fit?
Jordan Poole may lead the league in scoring next year. I mean, he's going to have a lot of freedom on that team. And this is a team that after John Wall and Bradley Beal and Otto Porter Jr., which was like 10 years ago, they have not drafted high in the lottery. They have been consistently in that 8 to 12 spot. And it's really hard to draft franchise-level players outside of the top 3.
Yeah, take a look on our screens, the key players here for the Washington Wizards. It looks a little bit different than it did even a couple of weeks ago. Jay, as you're looking at guys that could potentially fit the timeline and what Washington is trying to do here, what do you have your eyes on?
Well, I mean, there are a number of good players available, but it depends kind of what you want. Like the guys that are ready to play now, the college players. I like Trace Jackson Davis. I mean, I would take him here, but it depends on what they want, not what I want.
Andrea, I know you are also very high on Trace. Let's head back to the podium.
With the 42nd pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the Washington Wizards select Tristan Vukcevic from Athens, Greece.
Tristan Vucevic from Athens. Bobby Marks has been zeroed in
7
on his
foot.
game.
Malika, he played extremely
His
well in
brother
the
named
Chicago
it?
pre-draft camp to the point where
Oh.
he was shut down for game 2. He's got a little bit of everything. Fadeaways, got great length, 7 foot, can shoot from the perimeter. I think the big question for him would be, is he willing to kind of come over this upcoming season? He's got a buyout that's a little bit more than what the standard buyout, which would be $825,000 here. So a guy that we thought maybe earlier in the second round, but